Rachel, which industries do you predict are most likely to grow during this economic downturn? So we're not in an economic downturn. So okay, couple things. If realize that unemployment is at an all-time low, as low as it can go. 3% is full employment. I know, and some of you are saying, Andy, you're crazy because I'm unemployed and I can't find a job. When you look at the market itself, there's financial aspects, real estate aspects, employment aspects, and other things. And then there's global aspects and local aspects, and all this stuff needs to be factored in. There's sectors along the way, some zig, some zag. And then there's the bullhorn that you get it fed through, right? It's like the bullhorn right next to your ear that shouts because some large tech company is laying off a bunch of people and you think tech is going to hell, which is so not the case. So wait, but hold on. Your question is fair and I'm going to get to it. I need to say this. Because yes, we could have a recession. I don't know that. If I knew these things, I would be doing something else other than this. But when I look at like myself, you, and getting a job and those kind of things, the market is healthy. Employers are hiring. They're paying a lot of money. Okay, people, like day after day, I'm getting emails from people with gigantic raises. Some are six-figure raises. There's all kinds of money out there. There's all kinds of opportunities. If you're wondering, well, I'm having a hard time, there are many reasons why you may be having a hard time. But to get to Rachel's question, number one, I want you to know the market's still healthy. Okay, that's just first and foremost. But second, let's say the market turns and it does go down. And yes, some organizations are letting people go and some organizations are not hiring at the rate that they might. But I want you to know that's not the case universally. And even if we go into a recession, there will still be loads of companies that are hiring, simply because companies will still grow even though we're in a recession, and certain companies are going to thrive as a result of it. Now, I tend to be a big picture thinker, meaning what are the most prominent organizations or industries that are likely to thrive no matter what? Well, from a macro perspective, we have an aging population. Okay, the boomers. I'm Gen X. I'm an early, Gen X. I'm almost a baby boomer, but I'm a couple years late. They're retiring. Their health is waning, right? Healthcare is always going to be prominent. IT to support them. Consultancies that support healthcare. Systems like hospitals, networking systems, and other doctor-based systems, and anything like that. They're going to be thriving. Technology will always thrive. Certain organizations that let people go because their tech arm is either archaic, they didn't keep up, they didn't investigate or channel investment into the latest technologies, they weren't forward thinking, is not an indication that things are going badly. It's that particular company or that particular product line becomes extinct. So give you a great example. We had somebody that would literally take my video and chop it up and then take that video and give it to a videographer who would then put some titles on. We do some very light editing, but basically so I didn't have to handle it. It cost me $1,500 a week or whatever the hell it cost in time and effort and this and that, the lag time and whatever. Now I pay $300 a year for a piece of software that Kara runs, and she hits a button and it chops it all up and it's not perfect. And then she massages some stuff and then makes sure everything's in order and loads it up. Okay. Can you imagine the difference? Okay. Well, now that person who was doing that function for me, I would probably reallocate to something else, right? Kind of thing. That doesn't mean things are bad. It's that AI technology was able to now replace a particular person. So I'm always a fan of the technical sectors. And then when I look at, I start to break industries down by their layers. So let me give an example. Let's just say, sake of argument, that we hit a recession, like we start going like this, right? And the dollar's getting squeezed and people are out of work and they don't have any money to pay for anything. Generally speaking, what happens is you look across a sector, like let's call it entertainment loosely. Okay, it costs, I don't even know what it costs to go to a show, $20 to walk into a show. It's $40 for me and my wife, and you know my wife wants a popcorn and an expensive pop or whatever. It cost me $60 to go to see a movie. Okay, all right, well, I want to be entertained, but I'm not going to go to the theater because that's too expensive because I don't have any money and I'm out of a job. So now what? Well, what's Netflix cost? Or what's some other less expensive medium that satiates something people generally want? Okay, so I look at those sectors because what? Movie theaters are a luxury. They're not a necessity, but I need to be entertained, so I want some outlet. Okay, you can look at sectors that way. Then you look at, okay, well, what are the first things that generally go? It isn't consumer staples, right? You still need to eat, right? You still need to wash your clothes, kind of thing. So those industries will tend to stay intact or won't fall off as far as consumer discretionary. So this consumer discretionary markets and the luxury items and all the other things that people don't actually need to do will likely get suppressed when their pocketbook gets squeezed or when the value of the dollar goes down, inflation goes up, all that other stuff is happening. So that's the way I start looking at sector by sector. Is it something people need? Is it not? Is it something that can be handled on an outsourcing basis or less expensive? Can it get buoyed? Is it something, was the company just mismanaging themselves? And you look at this on a case-by-case basis. One thing that you can do also is when COVID hit a couple of years ago, so now we're talking 3 years ago, I put a video out in like March 2020, or maybe it was like just the beginning of April 2020. And I'd identified 36 sectors at that time that were going to thrive as a result of COVID. And I looked at the cause and the effect. And what you all want to do whenever the shit hits the fan is you want to look at the ripple effects. Meaning, so like when COVID hit, it wasn't just about, okay, well, like Zoom stock's going to go up. It's no, home delivery is going to go up, right? Because we can't go to the grocery store, or we could go to the grocery store, but I can't go to the the shopping mall and some of these other places. Okay, right. So maybe, right, consumer discretionary goes down, but what else? Well, hang on a second. Amazon's going to go up. Right, that's great. Okay, so that's great because there was something that caused me to now shop more online. People already do it for convenience, but they really have to do it now. Okay, wait, hang on. What does Amazon need? They need paper. They need cardboard. Okay, what are all the cardboard companies? What's paper made of? Right? Let's go look at the lumber. Right? Let's look at the whatever and the recyclers and all this other stuff. Right? Like you got to keep going because everything is connected. So when I look at anything happening, any trend in the market, most people can't even see the trend. The ones that can see the trend don't look behind the curtain. And then the ones that look behind the curtain don't look far enough to see actually what's going to happen. So I start going up buying cardboard stock, right? Right. That's how you look at your jobs, right? You all know what you do, right? Like I like to think and about, like, I know this industry, I know this sector, I can see the trends, what's going to happen, who's buying our products, go to the, right, like kind of thing. And that's how I look at it. So I don't want to just say, well, this is going to thrive and this is, I want to give you the line of thinking that helps you understand how to trace so that you are targeting the right kind of organizations. And then the next thing I would tell you, Rachel, and anybody else, when you are investigating industries and you are trying to figure out, is this industry going to thrive or are they going to be receptive to my boss hunting messages or marketing messages or whatever you want to call them? What I have the boot campers do, and of which you're one, but a lot of the one-to-ones that I have them lay out customer segments, or in your case, company segments or industry segments. So Rachel, what you could do is you could say, okay, Andy says healthcare, pick a healthcare segment. You're a marketer. So what are you going to do in healthcare market? You could go to healthcare technology companies and go be a marketer at a healthcare technology company if you wanted to, right? Kind of thing. Okay. So you make a segment, healthcare technology, and you find those companies. Then you say, okay, Andy says consumer staples are safe. I'm going to make a segment of those. Then Andy says, okay, hang on, I'm going to go look at these technology companies, or Andy wants me to go buy cardboard or whatever, right? Kind of thing. Then what you do is you start listing companies within the segments. You don't go boss hunting yet. Then after you identify the companies, you research the companies within the segment, and you look for organizational structure. Try to figure out, oh, I'm a marketer. Where would I go? Would it be the chief marketing officer? Would it be the VP of marketing or the director of marketing? Maybe you're an engineer. What kind of product engineer are you? What kind of system engineer are you? And you want to try to figure out who the likely management team, boss, or group is that for those healthcare technology companies that you would go to. Then you want to make a list, and you want to do that for all the segments. Then what you do is you take a cross section of the different segments, and you send your boss hunting messages across your array, not down your array. Meaning you don't target all the healthcare IT companies that you want to go market for. You don't do that. You go and you sample across the segments to see which segments are getting back to you. Hey, Rachel, it would be great. I'd love to talk to you about this. Awesome. Hang on. Andy, look, this consumer staple thing is really working. Great. Then go after all of those. Then when you're exhausted those, go after another segment kind of thing. So you get this. You're a marketer, right? You market across your segments to see which segments are most receptive. I could tell you the demographic of a boot camper. How? Why? Because I marketed across segments. I know my teaching reaches 22-year-olds to 77-year-olds, but I know where the heat map is of the most of them, right? Because what? Because we collect the data, we look. The way I teach you caters to a particular type of you. So that's what you need to do when you job search, right? If I was catering to a particular type of you, I would create 60-second shorts only, right? But that's not who buys my product kind of thing. You do the same thing when you job search. That's a really great question. Thank you for asking me. I hope that helped.